In a lot of fantasy or isekai manga, the main character commonly ends up with a harem of some sort. Whether they're actively having sexual relations with multiple partners, have numerous wives, or are simply surrounded by a bunch of cute girls, harem tropes abound in a lot of fantasy and isekai series. And yet, it doesn't seem to draw the same hate as modern day harem anime. So, why are we, the audience, okay with it? In most first world countries, and especially in Western culture, monogamy is the default setting. It is the normal. Having multiple partners is frowned upon and can get you and your partners ostracized, especially in more conservative nations like Japan and the United States. Why is there such hate for harem romances set in modern times, but general acceptance of fantasy harems? Now, for clarity, we're discussing harems, specifically multiple women or characters that identify as women with a single male at the center or head. Reverse harems in anime are a common trope as well, but haven't been common in fantasy or isekai since the 90s, back when most isekai were shoujo instead of shonen. Additionally, we're not talking about series where there are multiple women in love with the main character, but he's already picked out one girl. This is specifically one man with multiple female partners or romantic interests or whatever. To me, the answer can be found in Maslow's hierarchy of needs. For those unfamiliar, the hierarchy of needs shows how our base needs need to be fulfilled before our higher needs can be met. The 5 levels are broken down into 3 broad categories: basic needs, psychological needs, and self fulfillment needs. Basic needs, at the bottom, consists of physiological needs: food, clothing, warmth, rest, and safety needs: security and safety. These are the most basic needs for our human body to survive, but they're no different than any other animal. In most first world countries, these needs are ensured for all citizens, whether through welfare programs, jobs, or family and friends taking care of each other. Safety is provided by a military and local police, as well as the fact that most citizens in first world countries have no need to kill and steal from others to survive. Psychological needs, the middle part of the pyramid, is also broken up into 2 parts: belongingness and love needs, such as intimate relationship and friends, and esteem needs, from feeling accomplished or gaining prestige. These are both needs that require people to live in a civilized society. We want our peers to recognize us for our accomplishments and to help us when we lose our way. We desire intimacy from our lovers and close friendships with people who bring joy and meaning to our lives. These are things that can be provided from a group of friends, a spouse, or a family. Finally, at the top of the pyramid, we have self-fulfillment needs: achieving our potential, being creative, finding an outlet for our creative natures. This is something that can only be thought about if all our other needs have been handled. If one has a good job, friends, family, a roof over their heads, food in their belly, all other needs, both physiological and psychological, must be met before we can even begin to work on self-actualization. In modern day society, for a man to be able to realistically provide for a harem in a first world country, he'd not only need to be wealthy enough to provide the basic needs for multiple people, he'd have to have enough free time to ensure the psychological needs for multiple women were being met to the point where they could achieve their own self-actualization. Basically, he'd have to dedicate his entire life to taking care of his harem. This is why it's difficult as an audience to embrace the idea of a modern day harem, especially when the main character is usually a boring and bland cardboard cutout of a human being, their only traits being nice or understanding. But why is it that audiences are more forgiving of fantasy harems? Let's once again take a look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Oftentimes, in a fantasy setting, the world is brutal. Law of the jungle, only the strong survive. We've heard all these idioms before, but they are actually true in a lot of medieval fantasies. Now suddenly you've got this main character, sometimes isekai, sometimes just born strong or with special gifts, and he's able to provide both physiological needs as well as safety for not just one partner, but many. When you don't know where your next meal is coming from, or if the bandits will kill you tomorrow, or if a random dragon will appear and wipe out your village, someone who is strong enough to protect you from those terrors seems like the perfect mate. And in creating a harem, a tight-knit community all revolving around a single figure, the psychological needs become fulfilled. Rather than wondering where their next meal is coming from, or if they'll be sold into slavery or end up in a brothel, women are now safe in the harem of someone who can both protect and provide for them. Both intimate relationships and friendship can begin to form, especially under the safety and security of an overpowered main character. And once that community has been created, built on a foundation of needs, the characters can begin self-fulfillment together. Thank you for watching my video. I'd like to give a special shout out to my editor, Cute Stuff, for being so patient with me, and a thank you to both Sid Snap and Dakota for encouraging me to start my own YouTube channel. Thank you all, and please like and subscribe for more content.